The reason why I started 8606 is because more than anything, I want to just invent shit. I've got all these ideas in my head that aren't in the world that could make people's lives easier and just bring happiness and good shit. And they're not doing any good in my head. But a lot of the projects are on a much grander scale than anything that I'm capable of at the moment. So I have to get there to bring them to realization. So that's what I'm doing. Doing this has really taught me patience, which is exactly what I needed and was the reason why I was failing before. And instead of thinking of things like next year or like 2 Christmases from now or something like that, I was able to shift my mindset to 20 years from now. Like when I'm 50, like where do I want to be? And I think that that's going to be how I make this happen. And it's not a small, I mean, I really like the phrase Rome wasn't built in a day, and I like kind of get it more now. God, I was so not short-sighted before, but I never really thought practically about 40 years from now. Like, it's a good chance that I'll live to be 72. And I've never really thought about that. And where do I want to be? And thinking about regret and stuff like that. So I know what I want to do. And might as well start. Right now, it started with the reason why I picked jewelry and silver work is honestly, I just fell into it. I at the time, honestly, still right now, didn't have the means to buy my now wife Lisa the engagement ring that I thought she deserved, and then eventually the wedding ring. So I learned how to make it, and I made one ring, and it turned out okay, but it wasn't right, and so I learned a different way to set the stones that we had picked up in California, mined in California, like literally picked up out of the ground. So that was pretty cool. And I learned on YouTube, and I learned this lost wax casting method, and I had like a propane tank under the table in our apartment in North Austin, and I just took a what was it? A barbecue extension hose, and strapped and screwed it onto a torch head, and that's it. That's how I started learning to work with silver. And then why I decided to start making silver necklaces and rings and stuff like that is because it just, one, I ended up really enjoying it. So I've been doing it since I made my first piece, and I haven't stopped. And it just seemed like the right move for starting a design company, and I definitely still feel that way, even though like I haven't sold a ton of pieces. Like it feels right. And then from silver, I just did a gold piece. I'm in the middle of doing a gold piece. Once I get this kiln going, I'm gonna start fucking with glass and ceramic. I just got an oxyacetylene torch and a welder, so steel is next, which I'm super excited about. The torch regulators get here in 2 weeks, so I'll probably be into steel by the end of November, at the very latest, I hope. 3D printing. I built the 3D printer. God, it was kind of a pain in the ass because it was all like, didn't have a lot of instructions and stuff like that. But I finished it. I'm learning to make stuff in FreeCAD, 3D modeling, learning more about plastic. So that's going to be a big asset. I can see the 3D printer like really helping me out, especially when it comes to prototyping stuff, new stuff, learning new types of plastics, ABS. And then I don't know what else after that. Steel. And then 3D printing and other kinds of metals. And then it's just up from there, starting different ideas. I think that the 3D printer is going to be the unlock to a lot of prototyping kind of stuff. So right now I'm splitting my days into 3. In the morning I work on selling stuff, whether it's from garage sales or from retail arbitrage or like all kinds of stuff, whatever's gonna make some money. And I do that on eBay right now, but I'm going to be expanding into Amazon and then Facebook Marketplace and Mercari as well, possibly ComC when you're dealing with sports cards. And that's going to be the distribution side of my business. It's going to be where I make the bulk of my money. Then at about noon, at this point right now, I mean, schedule is always tentative, but until about noon till about 4, so about 4 hours, I work on the design side. So that's anything from actually making wedding rings for my friend, or making more necklaces, or getting the kiln ready, or working on social media, because one thing I really want to focus on with the design side is not depending on that for my money. I just want to make things. If people want to buy them, like, that's cool. But I don't want money to be making decisions in the design side. That's why that's what I've got the other two for. The reselling, I'm gonna make money, and then the third part is, sorry, I just spit. Third part is whatever hustle. But yeah, that will evolve. It'll go from silver and incorporate gold. It'll incorporate steel, everything I talked about earlier, to things that I don't even know. A lot of things that probably don't even exist yet if I'm talking on a 20-year time scale, which is kind of cool. Like, if I'm making rings now and I'm making necklaces and random stuff on a 3D printer, I've got some really cool ideas for steel. Like, what am I going to be making in 2042? It's really cool. I never really thought about that until right now. But I'm super fucking excited to see what kind of crazy technology and stuff like that. And also with respect to the internet too, having grown up from when I was in like elementary school in an analog world, it's really wild to see how far we've come. And I'm glad that I've recently kind of found I've like rekindled my relationship with what you would call like modern social media. Because Facebook, when I was in my early 20s, just seems like a battlegrounds for political infighting, or like outfighting, just fighting in general. And besides like a small Instagram presence, I've been pretty what's the right word for it? Elusive, I guess you could say, within social media. But I've switched my mindset totally on it. Before I thought it was like kind of like cesspool-y and annoying and like full of just political arguments, but then I realized that I have the power to make my own universe. And I didn't realize that until I started. When I started going on Instagram and just looking for cool shit and like meeting people, and then I started to Twitter and like doing kind of the same thing, and it's really fun to like find other good people with good energy and just create a universe where like you're happy, and where you're like, and to always like explore new stuff, because there's so much crazy shit out there. And especially like as an inventor and designer, like I need to always keep my eyes open. So that's really cool, and I'm glad that I got there with that. Third part of the plan is from 5:30 to 8:30 ish, 5 to 8:30, 5 to 9 sometimes. But right now I'm doing DoorDash. This part of my schedule may get eaten up by my distribution side, depending on what the money looks like. But right now, DoorDash is going pretty well. I'm making like a consistent $20 an hour. And it's higher than that if you consider that like between deliveries I can work on my business. So it's like actually the perfect mix. Like when I'm driving and stuff like that, I can listen to like anything on the audio front that helps me and like brings ideas and stuff like that, or just think. And then as soon as I'm between deliveries, I'm like back onto social, or like I'm working with eBay, or like putting out eBay fires, or like just like interacting with people. Like I can be on call for a delivery in my car in Austin, and I can be like having a legit awesome conversation with like someone who makes dope ass shit in Japan. And I grew up reading fucking encyclopedias. This is so much fucking better. So, I get it now. Social media is fucking dope if you know how to use it. That's it. I kind of wanted to just put all that out to look back at in 10 years and see if like see where I am and like how my plans have changed, if they've changed. I don't really see them changing on a macro scale, because like that's the goal. It's always gonna change minor stuff. Like I have ideas right now that I probably, like one idea that I'm really excited about that I won't be in the position to do for at least 6 to 8 years, if not 17, 18. The position I want to be in. I don't think anybody's going to come up with it before then. But if you do, props to you. But then there's ideas that I can do right now. But I'm putting them off to do other ideas that I like better. It's all time. Prioritizing. And working your ass off so you have the time. Like, if I'm not working towards my goal and I don't do the things that I want, I know I'll regret it. And I probably got like fucking 60 years. If I'm lucky. Maybe more. Who knows? Bet at least 20 or 30. And that's enough time to do some major ass shit. So I'm excited to see what happens. Peace.